Welcome back to God of War 2. Oh look, convenient pan of enemies and what we must go to. Not that we didn't have any other directions we could possibly go, but hey, whatever.
I wonder if there's a shine spray at the end of it.
A lot of games did that where, like around the PS2 era in particular, where they would pan through the stage to show you where you were supposed to go whenever you were in an area. I think it was something that started and was made popular as a design element by Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, actually, which influenced a lot of 3D action adventure games around that time. Like everything was taking some influence from Prince of Persia. It was a really, it's weird to think about because Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time was like one of the most one-and-done games ever made. Like, there's no reason to replay it after you've played it. It's incredibly linear. There's not much replay value, and it's of a gameplay style that, if I'm honest, is not very addictive. Like
with the camera pan specifically, you're talking about for action games specifically.
Yeah. No, not action games. Action adventure games, like as a blanket genre, where the camera will just slowly pan through an area to show you where your objective is. Like one of the big concerns.
Which means explore everywhere but that area.
Yeah, one of the big concerns in 3D adventure games has always been players getting lost, and around that time, the common developer's answer was to have the camera show you what you're supposed to be looking for. So it was less a matter of looking around the environment and trying to figure out where to go than to just, try to figure out what in the environment will get you to where the camera's pointing. And it's a design element that, frankly, I'm kind of glad fell out of popularity because exploring is half the fun for me. Trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be going based on environmental cues, I think it was the advent of the open world game that convinced developers that gamers are not going to get too pissed off if you let them find their own way.
As long as there's stuff to do in the meantime.
Yeah,
if the only thing to do is to go to the objective and you can't find where that objective is, then you tend to get pissed off.
Yeah, it's just like Prince of Persia in particular, it had a lot of telegraphing in its environment to go along with that camera pan. Like everything that you can interact with is obvious.
I see what Lewis is doing here.
What?
It's very subtle. I see it.
No, I'm not going.
But now we got a Prince of Persia count.
Ding.
Going on here. All right, I got it. All right.
No. I'm not going to talk about Prince of Persia that much because this game doesn't have much in common. But
you said it again.
Ding.
But it's worth mentioning in regards to almost any action adventure game from this era because most of them were taking a lot from that series, or from the first game in particular.
You see, what's funny about that is that God of War might have taken some stuff from Prince of Persia, but Warrior Within, I've never played it, but from what I've seen, it probably has taken a lot from God of War, with lots of action sequence.
If only it had taken more from God of War, its action might have worked better. Warrior Within has the problem of none of the combat's impact feeling satisfying, so the fights are by far the weakest part, even though the design emphasizes them so goddamn much. And even when they finally got that aspect right in Forgotten Sands, it wasn't all that fun because the combat was just too repetitive. Not enough enemy variety. Now, if this were God of War 3, I'd be pretty nauseous right now, because God of War 3 had this quirk of very lovingly crafting blood and guts whenever it could. Like,
yeah, because they could do that now with their HD graphics.
we would be seeing incredibly detailed entrails right now. But instead, well, since it's a PS2 game, we're just seeing this kind of indistinct brown mash.
Gobbledygook.
Oh, but speaking of Devil May Cry counters, it's got that sort of, scrolling gut texture to it when it regenerates like that. Which I really associate with Mundus' stupid face.
I just want to know, how does
end.
Prometheus know about Kratos and all that if everything Prometheus did and got chained up before? All
You
the
know, he
whole
heard it through the
Kratos did.
He heard it through the grapevine.
Through the grapevine.
Yeah.
What does the bird that eats him just bring him a newspaper
you know,
every morning?
maybe
So, did you hear about Kratos?
Well, maybe Prometheus has a schoolyard bestie who comes to visit every now and then, and you know, keeps
And
him
just leaves him there and not help.
keeps him up to date on current events.
Wait, so you freed Prometheus by hanging him?
Well,
He's
no,
not-
we have to get something to knock him into the flames that'll kill him.
Oh wait, we're not gonna save him. We're gonna kill him.
No, he wants to die.
Well, he wants to die because he's been sentenced to this eternal punishment.
Yeah, but if we
By
free
Zeus.
him, then he's not going to be punished anymore.
I think he's beyond the capacity of wanting to live anymore. So
Okay. So
Also-
tragic! Rah!
Also, we're playing as Kratos. Kratos clearly doesn't give a shit. Like, if this were...
Yeah, but okay. You see, here's the thing. If I were Kratos, I would leave him alive, not because I care about him, but because then he owed me a favor.
Yeah, but, you know, like, if this were any other... Like, if this was your standard issue game protagonist, I think, like, even Ryu Hayabusa would have been, you know, at least partially inclined to try and find a better way. Kratos is just like, nah.
You want to
Fire.
die? Okay. I can
Kratos
do that.
fire.
I
Kratos
like
has been known
killing.
to just slaughter innocents who happened to be in his way because it helped him open a door. So...
Yeah, but seeing as... Well, here's the thing. The Kratos in this game, you know, theoretically has a more larger agenda, like a bigger agenda. Like, he's trying to take on all of Olympus at this point. So if I were him, I'd want all the help I could get. So if Prometheus owes me a favor, then I'd take it, you know? I don't know what he could do other than show fire to people, but hey, it would be something.
Oh, right, yeah, that was what Prometheus was punished for. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Bringing fire to mankind, was it?
Yeah. I like how, like, the running theme in Greek mythology is people suck and they shouldn't have been allowed to suck, and everyone that enabled them to suck is horrible and deserves to be punished for eternity.
Then
What?
why did you
No
make
red points
frickin'
over
humans
that.
then, Zeus? If
don't
you
think
hate them
Zeus
so
is an
much.
idiot.
I don't think I don't think he made humans. I think
I
Greek
forget
mythology isn't necessarily a
But I
creationist
made
mythology.
plenty of babies.
I don't think Greek mythology is necessarily a creationist mythology so much as it is a mythology of, you know, there are gods and there are people, and these things happen to exist in the same room together, but they're not necessarily a cause-effect relationship. But I'm not sure. I haven't gone out of my way to study it.
I only know the bare basics, and that's from elementary school, so I forget a lot of it. Elementary school and playing Age of Mythology on the computer. That's basically it. Because I was a dumb kid and I never wanted to play the Egyptian or the Norse. Because no, they're not cool. I want to be the Greek gods. They're way better. And man, dumb young me was dumb. Because the Greek and Egyptian gods are awesome.
Sliding down this opens the door, and you can just launch yourself back really quickly if you're good enough like that. Thankfully, the gate does not close on you, so...
Why did we name the planets after gods?
Like, what else are we going to name them after? Cheeses?
I can't wait until we actually get in contact with.
Well,
them.
we
like,
did.
some inhabitant of
it
Jupiter.
was,
It's like, why the fuck? What? That's not our name at all.
Like,
Oh, there
I
was-
think it-
oh, there
I
was
think it
actual-
It was the actual Romans who named the planets. So.
Yeah, but, John, that's actually funny. There's a sci-fi story I read in school, and I forget the name, but it's like, the people move to Mars, and then they turn into Martians because of, you know, story and stuff like that.
Science,
And
yeah.
at some point, they're like, the people are talking to the one guy who hasn't turned yet, and he's just like, hey, we're gonna go to the blur mountains, and like, no, those are the George Washington mountains. Like, bitch, please, we were here first. We named them. Didn't we kill Medusa?
No, this is just a Gorgon.
Oh, okay.
Regular Gorgon. Yeah.
We didn't like keep her head up our back pocket or something, so we can use it later.
He dropped it when he went to Hades.
So Kratos doesn't have a back pocket; he just has an asshole.
To be fair, it is very big, and
This head and shove it up my asshole.
it is very big. So you can hardly hold lots of things.
Hey, no kink shaming.
Don't worry, we'll be getting our hands on someone else's head by the end of this series.
You shove heads up your ass now, do you, Kratos?
Now? I always did that. It's like you don't even know me, Zeus.
Your own son.
One thing I will say that hasn't aged particularly well about the God of War gameplay style is because the camera is fixed, the environments, when you actually examine them, tend to be pretty goddamn simplistic. Like, on the level of a Kingdom Hearts 2 level. Everything is very contained.
You're talking about basic architecture, yeah.
Yeah, the architecture of the level is very basic. And that's the thing, like, I think there's one series that I can point to illustrate what I mean by that, and it's the Legacy of Kain games.
Oh, boy. You see, that's a BrainScratch wide counter.
Yep.
I'll get to it eventually. I just
You
need
said
to,
that for like 8 years now.
I need to motivate myself to play the first game. The first game in this series is a game that I need to be in a really specific mood to enjoy.
Motivation.
Here's the inspiration. It may
Motivation.
not be in America by next year. You have 1 year.
But the last Legacy of Kain game, Defiance, which you can get on GOG, by the way, good old games. It's I think most of the Legacy of Kain games are on there. Defiance was made to be a God of War style action game, with some Devil May Cry elements thrown into the mix because it was
Weren't
more
these
based
Zelda
on
clones?
Souls.
Weren't these Zelda
They
clones?
were. Yes, they were up until that point. But Defiance threw that out and became a God of War clone instead.
Huh.
So suddenly everything was a lot more claustrophobic and simple in terms of environment design. And I found that really goddamn disappointing at that point, even though I loved God of War at the time. So, yeah.
Also, this Titan has a bow in his eye for some reason.
What Titan is this supposed to be?
I can't remember what his name is.
I don't know, but watch out for his morning breath.
Well, he has been here for how many years, so...
No, he eats a lot of breath mints.
Yeah,
Is
looks
this the
minty
Ice
fresh.
Titan? Is this the Ice Titan? I remember this fucker from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
This is an annoying section. I don't like it.
it's just... It's a standard...
stop and go.
Yeah. It's
Well, I
not
mean-
that interesting, is the thing.
I mean, it's like they have these airborne enemies that are not a threat at all, but then they have you like ducking behind these really low rocks where you don't have the room or maneuverability to actually fight them. So it just becomes annoying. Like they're not going to take you down.
What
It's
was he
really-
saying? It sounded like he was saying rah 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 rah.
Well, he has a
Out
big
of my
filter, so...
swamp.
Hey, Ice Titan. I'm kind of on the warpath looking to kill Zeus. So, you know, truce maybe?
Oh, my mistake.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all the Titans hate Zeus.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, we're just gonna leave him there. Cool.
Yep.
And don't come back.
Actually, I kind of have to because your hand's on my horse.
Yeah, no, Kratos never attempts to talk to the damn thing.
Kratos does not like to talk to anyone.
But yeah, we're on.
I mean, yeah, it's a safe assumption that the Titan wouldn't care, but it's like, you don't know that.
Yeah. One other thing, one positive I will say for God of War 2 in particular, though. Remember when we were doing God of War 1, and by this point we were still in fucking Athens?
Oh yeah, yeah, that took forever. But we haven't boned anybody yet, which is also I'm surprised about.
Well, that's because Ryan sort of passed by it without doing it. But
I forgot it was there.
yeah, it's like something that you can do while you're running from the Colossus of Rhodes.
No. Ryan's just looking out for the new YouTube policies. Wants to keep the videos advertiser friendly. Isn't that right, you fuckwads?
That's why we're playing a horribly violent and bloody game.
Yeah, you know, now that I think about it, having that in Part 1 probably would have been a major blow to our ad revenue. Part 1 is the one that makes the most money, don't you know?
Not that
Yeah.
YouTube would have been able to tell that there were boobs or no boobs in it. It just would have picked it at random, which is what they do actually.
Which is what seems to have happened with Shovel Knight.
Yeah, because I totally was not slacking and forgot to put in the part descriptions, nope, I would never do that. But it decided randomly that Shovel Knight 11, which was the title of the video with no description at all, was ad-unfriendly. Okay.
Wait, does it nominate videos based on whether or not it has a video description?
I think it has something to do with like the title and description and things like that. If certain words are like red flags, because back when the thing first started, there was somebody uploaded a video which I believe was them with a cat and a rainbow flag, and I believe the title of the video was just me petting my cat with a gay pride flag in the background, and it got striked as ad unfriendly. So they do look at video titles to say, oh, this uses the word gay in it. That's ad unfriendly. So we're not going to give you money for that. Which of course is a great system, and they should never change it ever.
That requires work.
Oh, Jesus.
You see,
requires human setup.
You see, human bodies actually do not burn very well, so it should not have been able to melt those chests that fast.
They're not humans.
What are they? They're clearly
Evil things.
Yeah, but
Humanoid.
anything with flesh does not burn that quickly. I'll just put it that way. It also smells like ass.
No, technically, it smells like pork.
Ass pork. Pork ass.
No, like cooked human smells like pork, apparently, according to every description about it ever.
Yeah, but you're not just burning the meat. You're burning the bone, the guts, the hair.
I assume that the reason humans smell like pork is because pigs are very, very similar to humans physiologically. Like, to give you an idea of how similar we are to pigs. When Sherlock Holmes wants to test whether or not a particular kind of murder would be effective against a human, it's pigs that.
Yeah, it's usually pig meat.
They use pig carcasses to test swords and things like that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, you were just ignoring that guy to get extra orbs?
Yep.
Hey, wait, what are you doing back here? I thought you left.
Well, I'm back now. Ow.
Oh God. Yeah.
Stop that.
Breaking.
I got a bow.
Cool. Okay.
Now, having a bow in God of War is pretty nice, but it's not the best weapon that you can use for most situations.
I used it in my playthrough.
From what I remember of the first game, you only used it to take out like archers that were spamming fire at you from far away, and then you went back to the blades.
Well, I'm sure it'll surely be useful in The Last of War, but in actual like classic style God of War, like there's basically no reason to use it because the Blades of Chaos reach so goddamn far anyway.